Welcome to the Build Insight podcast. Real people, real insights. Step into the world of innovative construction, one conversation at a time. This week, we're back for part 2 with Luke Said from Impact Build. If you missed last week's episodes, make sure you head back and check out those insights. Otherwise, stay tuned as we wrap it up.
Yeah, mate, change the topic because I know this is something we've had discussions with ourselves on the phone.
Yep.
Building insurances and licensing.
Yep.
Like we're obviously both Vic builders, and
Yep.
I think we're probably in the worst state right now compared to a lot of other listeners and builders around the country. But you got your DBU license last year as well, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
So you've gone through the hoop, so to speak, to get the license, get to the point where you're a fully trading unlimited builder.
Yep.
So how do you find it at the moment, mate? Like going through the whole process to get to a build?
Yeah. So at the start, I had a limited license, and then ultimately not much is different in the insurance aspect of it. Of course, your categories are all of a sudden different, but the actual upgrading your insurance, or whether you're going through the issues of getting to a particular limit you want to be at, or being able to take on particular projects, I don't know. I'm a big one to think that I think it is too difficult, the way that you go about it. I think the information you've got to provide is fine, and that's relevant, but the whole process, like to think that to lodge all your information essentially is, a 6 to 12 week turnaround doesn't need to be that hard. And I think if it was made just that little bit simpler, there would be more people who would be enticed to, do the right thing, and there'd be more carpenters out there actually become a builder.
Yep.
And I think it's a bit of a dangerous point at the minute, especially in our area.
Yep.
I've noticed that I'm all for people going out on their own and having a crack. That's great. But there's a lot doing projects they should not be doing, and it is frustrating. Yeah.
Yeah.
But these, like now we've got the MFR changes coming in, and all the ratio stuff, for your liquidity. That's all great. But I think I'm not even going to point out volume builder, because when there were so many volume builder issues in, what do we call it, 2022, probably the peak.
Yeah. Probably when it was at its worst, I'd say.
So a lot of those volume builders, they have had projects on their cards for, 2 or 3 years potentially. And they're dealing with a client who, 95% of the time is, going through a bank and going through a lending process. So they need to get their contracts done as early as possible. They're completed. To them, that's their efficient way. But that's it. That's sort of how I reckon a lot of the volume guys got found out. Whereas I think it can be more dangerous on that, on the developer level to a degree. Not all developers, but there is some who outright are going about it the wrong way and trying to stitch up all their trades and suppliers.
Yeah. I think where you're going with the volume guys, not to go too far into that too, they're working on such a massive homes.
Yep.
Margins are so low.
Yeah.
So when there was such big increases across the board on materials and labor and everything, it crushed them.
Yep.
So I mean, that's a different part of the industry. And I think where you're going with like more probably builders in our scene, custom builders, I mean, most of our clients would be professional type workers and be reasonably well off and comfortable to spend big sums of money.
Yep.
Sometimes cash funded. So it can make a huge difference.
Yeah.
I know one thing that I personally think that should be a part of the process is more like a mandatory inspection on the builder. So that they can take into consideration. I know if I go past an impact build that's getting built to a high standard, and I'm just driving through town potentially.
Yeah.
But you know, it's not necessarily up to it's not really up to anybody apart from you get all the way to a signed contract and then you've got a building inspection to be whether that is at a high standard. And then issues are already started.
But the building inspections itself, like, literally goes after your frame inspection, it's not even looked at until your final.
Exactly.
And to be fair, like, your final inspection, a lot of the time it can be seen as just a bit of a tick the box, and it shouldn't be.
What do you think would be good to throw in there between frame and completion?
There's got to at least be a pre-plaster inspection and a waterproofing inspection. Like, I just don't understand how a plumber, an electrician can come in, potentially, not all plumbers and electricians, but if you've got the wrong one on board or someone came through and they drilled a hole in the wrong spot or whatever it may be, that's going to fault that frame. It shouldn't be overlooked. And, you know, the builder can do all their QAs, do all of their pre-plaster inspections. That's great. And on a custom higher end scale, of course, that's always going to happen. But on a lesser scale, it's going to get sort of minimized as much as possible so they can be in and out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the most crucial stages really are, you know, once you put sheets on, everything's hidden. So it's not really ever going to be seen again. And we all have a focus on 7-star energy rating now, and a big part of that is insulating a house properly. I mean, we're all pretty thorough with the way we go about it with high-end window companies. But still never take that for granted before you lock your windows in. And then certifying to make sure is that glazing at the right level it should have been, and you know, and waterproofing is such a big one. You know, and that's for that to be stamped on a piece of paper. I mean, we're fortunate we've got an incredible tiler who's certified waterproof. You know, meticulous with the high-end systems, but how many builders out there would just be it's slapped on, it's done.
It's like there's still jobs that there's Villa board used, for example, and just the joins are waterproofed, and it's like, well, it's not how it works, you know. A concrete slab, it's not uncommon to see a concrete slab not waterproofed. The waterproofing itself and the water stop is actually to retain the water and the moisture within that space. It's not just to protect the substrate itself. And I think that's where a lot go wrong. They look at a couple of the surfaces they're working with and think, we can get away with the bare minimum in this situation, or we don't need a water stop here. We don't need to detail our waterproofing in this particular way because it's not going to matter, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty important. I think one other thing I've really noticed with, I suppose, the networking we do is stage claims. I mean, years ago, we would have been one that would have just had your standard contract. And I know we always threw in sort of that site setup kind of fee at the start within our process. But, you know, cash flow for builders and going back to the whole insurance side, it's not the builder's responsibility to be the bank, fund the build. And I think there's a real confusion on that, well, you're the builder, you should be able to pay for it. The builder should be paying for things to the point where a claim's reached and then they've got the money, and then that's funding that process. So stage claims are something that's really finicky, especially with custom homes, to get right. We don't need much to go wrong before all of a sudden you've got a cash flow issue with a delay on something. So what have you sort of done to try and strengthen that within Impact too?
So we've had a really good run in terms of clients have understood why I'm completely against doing your standard Method A claim. So previously we've been mainly doing renovations and extensions for one, and a Method A claim on that scope of work is pretty much irrelevant anyway.
And for listeners, like your Method A is your standard, like pretty much volume builder contract that is like deposit, base stage, frame, lock up, fix, completion. And if you're on a job for 12 months,
Yeah.
you're going 2-3 months without a claim coming through.
And even like going back to the insurance stuff, if you've got a Method A a progress claim, and you've got, let's say you've got 200 grand worth of earthworks to be done,
Mm.
and let's say you've got 150K worth of windows in a build, and you've had to let's say you've had to pay 50% deposit for those windows. You've just had 200K worth of earthworks done. The project's been going for, it could be 3 months by that point. Essentially, you've just cash flowed, the higher end of 200 to 300,000 for what?
Yep.
And what? It just doesn't need to be that difficult.
No.
For over 130 years, Bowen's has been the builder's choice, providing a service that provides timber, hardware and innovative building products.
And now we're helping you further with this wonderful partnership.
We're proud to announce Bowen's as our new premier sponsor, bringing you more of the insights that you love. Build insight together with Bowen's.
Real people,
Real insights. Yeah. I think that's up to like the builders or people out there thinking getting into the space is still find it dumbfounding that there's not a real focus on learning of a contract.
Yeah.
I've said this for a long time. Builders to become a builder should have to go and do some sort of course on learning contracts properly.
Yeah.
There isn't anything in place to stop someone getting out there, getting a license to whatever level and signing a contract.
Yeah.
That's law abiding. That's, once you're in it, you're in it.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a pretty important part of it.
Yeah. So once again, going back to the insurance, how, like, that to me is the main reason why there is builders going backwards and essentially getting to a point where they can't remain in business, because you can be profiting, but if you're not having money come in at the right time, what good is your profit? You're not actually seeing it.
Yeah.
And you're not actually able to run your project properly. It's going to end up doubling in time frame or essentially not ever happening. Your trades aren't going to be paid. They're not going to be paid on time. There needs to be more leniency towards Method A and Method B payments. So, needing to do a different payment structure, I think that's actually the best way moving forward for builders to remain stable and remain in a healthy position.
Yeah. And just laying your project out to understand where they need to sit within that time frame. Yeah.
Well, that's been one of the awesome things I've personally learned out of Future Builder. There's a couple of guys who they've been heavily promoting how they will schedule before they do their contract. So they're actually able to schedule the whole project before they've done their contract so that they can lay out their contract in a way that actually suits when money needs to come in. And once again, getting your hands on with the wrong builder in that style of build, it can go backwards pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty important. And I just think becomes a pressure too. We've all probably been a part of it where maybe you've had projects kind of slow down a little bit and at the same time, or not necessarily projects slowing down, I should say, projects that we're waiting to commence, they slow down due to planning issues or delays, which as a builder, you're relying on the next one. You've got staff and a business to keep pushing. You're relying on your business is based on you need maybe 3 projects a year. And that's what you punch your numbers off, which becomes hard. So you see it where there's a pressure then to go, we really need this next one to kick off.
Yep.
winter's coming again and whatever. You can see the writing on the wall after time.
Yeah.
And, you know, everyone's probably been guilty of it at some point where they're like, oh, we're getting kickback on this payment structure. Let's give it might be the insurer or the bank saying we need to just back end something or change something. Oh, let's do it. But then you get through to the build and you're like, that's that 5% we shifted because we were getting kickback on.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the moment, you're like, we should have probably dug in a bit better. But that's the reality of just kind of getting that down pat. And I think every project is so different that we do.
Yep.
That you've got different clients, different banks, the insurance companies viewing things differently. So it's, in my opinion, going back to that, Luke, especially with our insurance, we've, I think we're in for a bit of a funny 12 months, 2 years in Victoria with how things are going to pan out. I mean, I really feel for the young guys and girls that want to get their license to come through, that it's all, as going back to that, looking at it to the point, we're not there to actually fund that project.
Yep.
We're there to build it, get paid.
Yep.
Whereas it just doesn't seem the Building Plumbing Commission, insurance companies are viewing it like that at all.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point you've just made then about the guys who are coming through who have essentially just getting their license or just getting into business. Well, that's where I'd also encourage that they need to start doing smaller jobs. It's frustrating to see. It's not realistic. There's so many guys that you see on social media or whatever who they get out of their time, they get their license, that's great, awesome. But all of a sudden they're taking on like massive projects. And we're not talking 100K renos. We're talking like, I've seen a couple and we're talking 1.2 to 1.5 million dollar builds. I don't even know how they've got the insurance for that in the first place when they've just came out. And it's as clear as day that there's either something not right in their contract or the way they've gone about the insurance. But how are they actually funding these projects? Like, I don't understand how they're doing the right thing and being responsible by their client, starting them or even getting it to a contract stage in the first place. There's what happened to actually starting out on smaller scale renovations. You do your bathrooms, whatever, for X amount of time. It might be that you might need 3 to 5 years to actually start to get a proper base, because it's not a small amount of money that you need to actually run these projects and to, you're dealing with people's life savings. It's not something that you can take lightly.
Is that a reflection on society a bit at the moment now? Do you think it's just so rushed to get to the top, basically?
Oh, well, social media is great to learn from, and the great friendships you make and to interact with people in the same industry, but it also puts a shocking reflection on what is actually possible. And a lot of it's just bullshit. And like, I've struggled with trying to explain to guys, they'll mention, so-and-so's doing this or they're doing that. It's bullshit. It's not right. It's not feasible. And you can see straight through it. You wish the best for as many as possible, and all you want to do is encourage everyone else. But there's a point where it's like, just slow down.
Yeah.
Let's go about this the right way.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic, mate. What's change topic? You're for years had a big emphasis on health and fitness and footy. I think your footy days.
Yeah, footy.
Pretty much nearly.
Oh, mate, I'm done. To be honest, mate, I went back and played in 23, 24, and I was meant to play last year.
Yeah.
I went back in 2023 We were a pretty poor side in the Central Highlands League out at Dalesford. We were struggling, and we ended up managing to get together like an absolute team of champions in 2024. I was extremely lucky to be part of that side, and we were able to win a premiership.
Yep.
But oh mate, I was done. Like I was fit, but I'm just too slow. My body's just cooked.
Yep. And so now, mate, you're avid gym guy. I think we pass each other most mornings.
That's it. Yep.
Going opposite directions for a quick wave.
Yep.
So now just gym, and the kids are getting a bit older, keeping you on your toes anyway, mate.
Oh, they are, mate. They are. So yeah, I love getting into the gym. Every morning. Running. Take my dog out for a run. Mate, border collie lover like yourself.
That's it.
We've got 2, and I think we're about to have a litter of pups as well.
Oh, really?
But I just sort of, for me, fitness has been a way of just sort of having a life outside of building, and family, of course, is everything, but you need a bit of me time when you finish work or of a morning when everyone's still asleep, just to start the day off in the best way. I don't know if you go to the gym of a morning or after work or whatever, but
during the day mainly. Yep.
But for me, I need that to start the day off in the right way. And you get up early, you're into it at 5:30 or whatever, and you set your day up from there on.
Yep.
Instead of getting up at that time anyway, going through emails, whatever it is, and before you know it, you're trapped in work mode already. It's just good to have something completely put aside from that.
Yep. Yeah, get a balance and fill your cup a bit.
Yeah. You got to. But I suppose for me, I used to do a lot of I'd try and get into the gym of the morning and run of an arvo or whatever. But now it's just I try and concentrate on the morning, and I really want to spend as much time as I can at home to actually be present. But admittedly, it is hard in our game, isn't it? Like as a builder, there's so much responsibility, and your mind just keeps going.
We are absolutely thrilled to announce that Circus Studio are coming on board as a major sponsor and supporter of Build Insight. Circus Studio is Australia's leading interior design centre. If you're an architect, building designer, interior designer, builder, or just looking to build your dream home, you need to make a time and come in and check out the space here in Port Melbourne. This space holds every element that you'll possibly need to design your dream home.
And I think it's I don't know about you, Luke. There's generally those sort of four pillars that we have, and that's obviously family, self, your business, and overall your fitness.
Yeah.
Whatever that might be. It could be that you have an activity, not necessarily gym or running.
Yep.
But I find the one that you don't want to shift is the one that you concentrate on. It's going to help your mental clarity, you showing up the best, and that's kind of some sort of exercise or gym or fitness or playing a sport.
Yep.
I feel like when that goes, everything else can fall down pretty fast.
Yep.
And then the other three I've always found within myself, I need to just monitor. Your relationships can drop a bit while you focus on your business.
Yeah.
And I went through a phase where probably became the worst mate going around because he's just so preoccupied with your kids, your business, yourself. I just went away last weekend with 3 of my best mates. We hadn't had a holiday together in too long because we've all gone through that phase of kids growing up, sports and business and work and whatever it might be, careers. So it becomes really important that you do try and focus on that. So it was a good one.
Like you bring up that it can be detrimental to your friendships and even to your family to a degree as well. Like my best mate, like I actually have just sort of caught up with, pretty much what he's been up to basically the last 2 or 3 years. And that sounds horrible,
Yeah.
but it's true. Like when everything's going a million mile an hour and, you're sort of pushing to, reach whatever goal it is, or in particular, run your business in a particular way, or learn something new, often it's the easiest thing to leave those that you're closest with and just, treat it as I'll always be able to go back to them.
Mm.
And that's all good and well. And of course that's true, but it can't be like that.
No.
And this mate in particular, I'm sort of a bit gutted that I just haven't made enough effort.
Mm.
And it all comes down to I just put too many eggs in the work basket and sort of forgot about everyone who is actually so close to me as a mate. And but it is good. It's good to sort of catch up with them again. And, it is the way it always was, but it's a learning experience, isn't it?
I think that's like a bloke thing, isn't it? And I'll probably say watch this space because I know there's a bit that's about to come out within some amazing parts of the industry on this with men and mental health and getting around each other. But realistically, we are probably all, we'll be right, kick on and we think our best mates. It is like that when you catch up with your best mates. They're always probably, each other so well that it's like you haven't seen each other for a day when you do catch up. But you just never know who needs it pretty badly. Like to actually as a man to man, bloke to bloke catch up. How are you going, mate? And I know there's stuff that you end up having conversations with your best mates that you probably wouldn't do with your missus or your family.
Of course.
It's important to fit that in. So that's fantastic. I will ask you, Luke, before we start wrapping up, you've gone through getting your license, setting up your business, family, fitness, the whole works. What would be a bit of advice you'd give to someone that's maybe 5-10 years behind you? What would you focus on most going through it all again?
Yeah, so I say this not very lightly either. It's if you go out starting business thinking that you're going to be able to do it all on your own, it's not going to work out. The amount of times I hear people say to me, they'll say, oh, no, that's okay. I can do that myself, or I can, do this tip run myself or whatever. And you've got to get to a point where you can offload a lot of these tasks and then concentrate on what you actually need to, which is running the business. So, I think first of all, it would be learning that you've got to have your business hat on as equal to your nail bag. And then you need to get the nail bag off as early as possible and get the right team on. The second thing I'd say would be you need to have mentoring and a really good form of coaching as well. So this can be in different levels as well. So, you and I, we're obviously in Future Builder, and that, I can't speak highly enough of what that's actually done for myself and our business. It's one of those things you don't know until you're in that position what you can actually learn. And I thought I was doing everything right, and I had we had a good stable business, and we were profitable and all the rest of it. But when you surround yourself with the right people, you actually recognize that I've actually got a lot to learn here. And you feed off everyone. So you definitely need to get some mentoring and coaching. Those two things, they'll put you in the right stead.
Well, mate, we just do a quick little thing before we wrap up with you. So I'm going to fire a quick few rapid fire questions at you.
Righto, here we go.
Not too much pressure, but we'll kick off with a nice easy one, mate. How do you like your coffee?
Almond cap with 1 sugar.
Oh, nice. Bit of sugar in there.
Yeah.
Second of all, mate, what's probably the biggest lesson you've learned out of the first couple of years running a building business?
The biggest lesson? Learning clients who value what you do and qualifying clients.
Yep.
Yep.
And mate, I know you're all over AI building software.
Yep.
So
Learn it
doesn't-
too, yeah.
yeah, we all are. This doesn't have to be necessarily office related. It can be a tool in the tool trailer or the shed, mate.
Yep.
But what would be your number one go-to tool at the moment?
Wonderbuild. Yeah, still definitely Wonderbuild. So yeah, that has to be. When you're an apprentice or a tradesman, you get excited about buying tools. After that, you get excited about software and your apps,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. I actually had a mate of mine come around to the new place on the weekend and he said, "Oh, your shed's looking a bit empty."
Yeah.
So it's all on the computer now, mate.
Yep.
Well, Lukey, mate, absolutely. We're basically neighbours. A lot of admiration for what you're doing, mate. I can tell you're having a red hot crack. Building a good team, building some good houses. So thanks for joining us, mate. We'll place Luke for Luke today, and it's been a good chat.
Yeah.
So appreciate the time.
Mate, thanks for having me on board, and love what you guys do, and I'm incredibly impressed with this build. Yeah.
Thanks, mate. We'll got some events coming this year as well, so we'll hopefully see you in there as well, mate.
Yep,
So
for sure.
do you want to just drop where to check Impact Build Out and find Luke?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram and Facebook, of course, and our website www.impactbd.com.au, and always keen to get in touch with new clients and talk through their upcoming project.
Awesome, mate. Been a pleasure, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Awesome, mate. Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to find out more about Build Insight, head over to the website buildinsite.com.au. Over on the website, you'll find links to previous podcast episodes as well as our YouTube channel, Instagram and Facebook. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.
Well, that's a wrap for another week's episode of the Build Insight podcast. Before we leave, just want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors for their ongoing support. Without their help, Build Insight wouldn't be what it is today.
Let's cue the disclaimer. I need to let you know that myself and the Build Insight team are in no way, shape or form qualified to give you personal or specific business advice. We strongly encourage you seek out the use of professionals for products or when you are making personal or business decisions. Everything discussed during the Build Insight podcast is our own and the guest opinion and personal experience and is of a general nature only. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Catch you on the next one.